Good morning, friends. I have just arrived in Yerevan in Armenia, and this is my first time in Yerevan, first time in Armenia. It will probably be very interesting, and I'm just now wondering why is the train driver looking at me, but now he's not looking at me anymore. I thought maybe is it illegal to film in the train stations here as well? Hopefully not, but we'll find out. So that's the train which I took. It's quite dark still. It's something like 5 minutes to 7 in the morning, and the sun is slowly getting up, rising. The temperature is quite nice, a bit cool in the morning, but not too bad. Let's find out what this country has for us, friends. This was the train coach which I was in, and this was actually that one was exactly the space which I was in, where I was sleeping during this night. Wagon 1, first train coach. Wow, look at this station. It's again kind of opera type station building. Taxi everywhere. They have a good level of competition here. And there's even some art exhibition in this station. Look at this, people. Look at this. Amazing how they were building train stations a few centuries ago. And I think that's the train station building, just the top, the spire of it. But we'll go out and explore. Amazing.
Hello? Do you need a taxi?
No.
Later?
Нет, не надо вообще. Спасибо.
Поляк?
Из Latvia. He was again asking if I need taxi. Well, some other person, not again. Amazing. Okay. Let's get some money from the ATM machine and let's head for the city. I also actually asked the conductor how is it possible to pay for the metro, underground, tube, whatever word you use it for it, and what is the way how you pay for the city buses, or if there's any other trams, trolleybuses, whatever. And he said it's pretty easy. I can buy jetons, like the small special coins for the metro, and in other transport there will be either conductors or the driver will sell the ticket. So, good enough. I was trying to get some money out from this ATM machine, and it doesn't work. It is kind of counting the money, the sound is there, but then it opens and it says take your cash, and there's no cash. Hopefully it didn't deduct that amount from my card. We'll find out later. I take a picture just in case. And there was a phone which to call to. And the taxi driver came here and he says, no, it doesn't work. I can, there is in the center, there is one ATM machine which works. I can bring you to there with taxi. No, thank you. I'll walk. This is nice. So these are my first views of Armenia and my first views of Yerevan. It's actually quite, like, I immediately see quite a few Russian cars, like that one Volga, that Niva, and quite a few old cars, that Gazelle. So it really is a little bit poorer than Georgia even. And there is Zhiguli, and there is a car without a headlight. So it might be a little bit more interesting even than Georgia. We'll see. And нет, спасибо. And this is the famous Yerevan train station. I won't be able to show you probably properly from here. I need to step back a little. Here you can see the Yerevan train station from a little bit more distance. And there actually, look at this. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the direction is right, so it must be. This must be the peak of Mount Ararat, the symbol of Armenia, which, as far as I understand, a big sorrow for all Armenians, is now in Republic of Turkey, not in Armenia anymore. And what do you think about this Zhiguli? And look guys, there's something even cooler. What do you say about this beast? People were calling it kabluchok, because kabluk means like actually, what does it mean? Is it a heel, or is it just a boot? But in any case, the make is Ij, but it's always called kabluk. And there's one more. There is one more. Oh, and here is Uazik, Uaz. You can find all kind of beasts. And look, there is Volga. That's the one. And look, there's another kabluchok. How can that happen? I have been traveling through Ukraine, Moldova, Pridnestrovia, Georgia, and I haven't seen even one kabluk. And look here, there are two in one square. Amazing. And look how it's repaired with the tape. This tape which is used for repairing pipes. And there, look, that is Latvia. They are still working here. Amazing. We saw one in Pridnestrovia. And these are the two only ones which I have seen since the end of Soviet Union. Well, maybe early 90s. That's amazing. Let's discreetly go around, not to disturb those people. And of course, gazelle as well. That's it, guys. Can you believe I see real car Latvia, which is still alive? I was maybe not discreet enough. That's amazing. And Volga and all kind of Niva and another Zhiguli or Lada. Yeah. This country is also a little bit, seems to be a little bit like a time machine. So we'll be, oh, and Pazik. That's called Paz. Where do you see these things? In the middle of Siberia, probably. They're still working, in working order. Amazing. So, this will be an interesting place. And doggy, of course, yes. This is the second or the third one, which I see in these maybe 5-10 minutes since I'm outside. Hello, doggy! Yes! Oh, yo. Don't be that afraid. Okay, doggy, okay. I see you actually quite enjoy the new friend. But you're a little bit stressed. Maybe I was a bit too loud talking to you. Sorry about that, doggy. And that's somebody whom I don't know. Yes, doggy, yes. Okay, doggy, yes. Okay, doggy. He's a little bit confused. He wants to be friends, but he's stressed as well. And there's another doggy. Hello, doggies. Yes. Good, doggy. Good. Funny, guys. Good. I don't know the name neither of this horse nor of the man who is on the horse. Sorry about that, and it's not written as well, so I have no clue. But since he was using horses, not Zhiguli, it probably was quite a good while ago, whoever he was. So that's another more distant look on the train station of Yerevan. And there is even a little bit better view of the Mount Ararat. These doggies have occupied the mountaintop. One of them went away. Okay, friends, I think, yeah, and here is some water for us as well, but I filled my bottle in the train already, so all good, and for doggies as well. Okay, I think it is time for us to go and explore this city. What do you think? That's the Yerevan train station, all of it in one picture. It looks like there is an Armenian police, and I'll try to film it discreetly, and I think I might be even successful with doing it. So this is how it looks. I think I pointing in the right direction so you would see it as well. You see, I haven't walked more than 5 minutes probably, and there's already not just one, 3 ATM machines I can choose from. So thank you, taxi man. I didn't need the taxi to get my money. Well, you see, this city doesn't have only gazeli as the marshrutkas, they have also trolley buses, the same types as they were in Riga in my childhood. I have a new friend. I thought, who is licking me? That's you. And you as well. And where are my 2 old friends, which were following me all the way from the train station? This will be an interesting country as well. Come on, guys. It looks like I'm back in Pridnestrovye. You see that thing? And on the same street further on is that thing. And that thing. So that is Zil. That is Gaz. And this one, is another Zil. And these are my new friends. The old ones left me and probably went back to the train station where they were congregating. The dogs are a little bit more aggressive here in this land, which is not a good sign, unfortunately. I had 2, the very oldest friends, they left me. Then I had 2 newer friends who were following me. And then 2 newer friends came, and the 2 medium old friends were starting to fight with them. It looks like they were saying that I'm their friend, not the new ones. And then they went off barking on some car, but then they all came back, and then the 5th one came, and he was barking on these, but these are now friendly. Are you? While I was talking, I missed my green light. After a bit of walking and having a breakfast on the go for 70 something cents, there are 2 good things which happened. One thing is that the sun, as you see already, is up and it's slowly starting to heat. Well, to warm, I should say. I'm still having my jumper on, but soon it will be better. And another good thing is that there's first thing which is more interesting than just Soviet buildings. That thing there is called Luna Park in Russian, which literally means moon park, but basically attraction park? No, in English probably you call it somehow else. And here is some monument for who knows whom, and there is some church. Let's see if it's open. And speaking about church, Armenians are very special in this regard. Firstly, because Armenia was the first country in the world which, as a country, officially accepted Christianity as their faith. So they are the oldest. And secondly, I found out, well, I have always been thinking that Georgia and Armenia I have been always thinking that they are Orthodox countries, and Georgia really is. But in Georgia, that's a newcomer, and he's afraid. You see what they do when they're afraid, and then when they're submissive, so that they are not attacked, they're showing their submissiveness. And my big old bully friends don't touch him. Right, bullies? Okay. So, in Georgia, people were explaining to me that Armenia is not Orthodox. That they are some completely different type of church. They look like Orthodox, and many things probably are similar, but the Georgians say that they are completely different type of church, and I didn't quite get out of them. So what type is it? Obviously something from Gregory, because I know that Saint Gregor, Georgi in Russian, he was the saint, the person who sort of evangelized Armenia. When was it? 6th century? I don't remember. Looks like they're growing polonias here as well. First year. Okay. So, let's see, it's something quite new. I was expecting it to be old. Okay, here was the proper path. And we took dog path. Let's see if we can get inside. And how does it look there? Yeah, it's completely, well, not completely, but new. It's not the old stuff. And it's closed, is it? The man didn't get in. Aha, спасибо. I already forgot how to say thank you in Armenian. It was something which started with shnura something. It was a long word. I'll have to learn it. And I forgot how to say hello. I learned it already from a lady in the shop, but forgot it already. Well, this is something interesting as well. Mount Ararat, with some slum-looking area in the foreground. Let's see, he was showing me that there should be an entrance somewhere. I lost the man already while I was taking a picture of that mountain. Looks like there's no door there. Although who knows, might be behind that corner. But no, the grass is too big, so probably not. I would bet rather on these steps that this might be the door. And these are the typical Soviet buildings, and these ones as well. You can find them in every part of the former Soviet Union. There's again one newcomer. And big growling because of that. Yeah, this is funny what kind of hierarchies they have between them. They are big and they are many. My old friend is here, a couple of them are there, and there are a few new ones, like 3 or 4. They just opened the church and the people were waiting there. It's 8:30. I don't know what it will be. Will it be some service here or just opening? It's big. Oh, it's really big. And they have seats as well, which Orthodox usually don't have. They put the light on as well. So you'll see it better. It's interesting. Do people just come to pray in the morning, 8:30? Or will they have some special classes or something? Looks like just they came to pray. Yeah, people just come in, pray, and go out after a while. Interesting, quite a few of them. And so early in the morning. This is something which you don't really usually see in Europe. And also I noticed that they make a sign of cross to the opposite direction than the Orthodox people are doing it. So there is a second difference which I have observed already. Would be interesting to find out a bit more once I get to the internet. So that was Saint Gregory the Illuminator Cathedral, actually, I found out on the map. And my friends, they actually waited outside and now they again follow me. Yeah? Is it true, friend? Okay. So, let's go down the way. Continue to explore Yerevan or Yerevan. This looks to be more central square, but I have to disappoint you, my friends, because at this time I have very little clue where I am. Well, I know on the map where my hostel is, but that's pretty much it. Because usually I make this Google search, let's say tourist places in Yerevan, for example, I would be searching. But I usually do it on the previous day. But now, and these two dogs still follow me, but now I forgot that this night I will be in train and there is no internet, so I didn't do the search. I don't have any viewpoints or waypoints on my Google map. So whatever I can see on the map, Yandex is a bit better than Google. So what I can see without searching, that I know, but it is very little. So basically I'm just walking around until I can check in my hostel and get access to Wi-Fi. But yeah, I have no clue what these buildings are, but this looks to be some more central square. What do you think about it? Not too bad. Well, this park is called Shahumyan Park, whatever it means. I'm pretty sure that all the words which end with yan, my friend is exploring, all the words which end with yan are surnames. So Shahumyan must be some person to whose name this park is called. And let's go through it. It looks like there were a lot of fountains, but they're all winterized already, I think, because it's not very far when nights will be below freezing, so they don't want any water to be in the system, obviously. So that was the park of Shahumyan. Did I say it correct? And this one is something amazing. It is called Yerevan 2800th Anniversary Park. Imagine that, 2800 years ago Yerevan was founded. Isn't that amazing? Especially, dear Americans, when you see something which is 200 years old, it seems very old to you. Don't bark on cars if you want to be my friend. Did you get it? Or else you would have to go a different way and I won't let you come with me. Got it? Okay. Dog pedagogy, which doesn't work probably. I tried to make these dogs more civilized, but it's probably too naive of me. So, dear Americans, when you see something 200 years old, you think it's old already, isn't it? Me as a Latvian, if I see something of 13th century or something, это часто такие собаки везде? So, for me as a Latvian, anything which is from 13th or 14th century seems to be very old. But here, guys, it's 800 years before Christ when this city was founded. Well, that's some different category of things being old. It's a very ancient place. Ah, and here the fountains are kind of working still. They're not switched off yet. Do you want some joke? That man who is walking away there, he just came to me and said, don't let your dogs to walk here on the fountain. Police will come and you will be in trouble. And I said, these are not my dogs. He said, aren't they yours? And then he found out I can speak in Russian, so we were talking to speak. He says, "Aren't they yours?" I said, "No, I'm first day in Yerevan." So he apologized and, and went away. He was a nice man, but he thought they're my dogs. Oh, crazy. And if these dogs will be biting some, no, it will be my fault. Come on, dogs, behave yourselves now. Otherwise I'll get into police because of you. These are nice sculptures. The kids who are coming to drink water. Then a girl who is carrying water and the water is pouring out of her vessel, whatever it is. Then a boy who is making a paper ship and letting it go through the river with bridges, and then some other kids which are walking under one umbrella in the rain. Ah, doggy. Ah, doggies. And then the river is continuing to flow, and then a girl, is it an ice which she is holding, like a cloud, like an ice which is melting and dripping down on her? Cute. They have quite strange, in a way unique style of architecture. These massive, blocky, sharp-cornered buildings. And this one is called English Park. Don't ask me why. Probably Englishmen were here long ago already. And that is the fence of French embassy inside of English Park. And who knows what is this? Something very Soviet looking. I just met a man who told me that this chip in the dog's ear, it means that this dog has no owner. So that really is a stray dog. And also he taught me something which I already forgot from the first person who taught me, that thank you in Armenian means Shnura Kaltsun, and hello is Barev Dzez. Dzez means to you. Barev Dzez is hello to you, literally. So, two useful words or phrases: Shnura Kaltsun and Barev Dzez. I am now learning to read. So this is Yerevan. Ye-R-E-V-A-N. Yerevan. And this is why I think it means doggy. I know you're friendly, but I wanted to show my friends something like this as well. So doggies, these doggies were following me all the time. When I sit down, they lie down. When I walk, they walk with me. That's crazy. Before I show you that side, the good view, I have something here for you. This place is called Saint Sargis Vicarial Church. Let's see. Can we get inside as well? And there's interesting fountain here with 3 water fountains. I just drank from one of them, and one of my dogs did the same. And there's something written on this side which I have no clue what it is. You see the detail. And my dog, you was waiting for me, yes! Funny guy. He's always with me. And he couldn't go into church. And you too, you couldn't go into church. Okay. These dogs are funny. And now, just out of the church, look at what view is here. Isn't that amazing? Could that be an entrance into metro? I'm not sure. There is something which is called Ararat. Yerevanski konьячный завод. Yerevan's cognac factory with the name Ararat. And there you see Ararat itself in the clouds. Beautiful. And that one is called Yerevan City Supermarket. Interesting. It should be something from the Soviet times, I guess. And you see, when I stopped, my dog stopped as well. And the old one, the grey-haired one, the grey nose, he's even tired. I must be walking a lot, dear doggies. Whenever I stop, he immediately lays down to get a rest. If dogs get tired from my walking, probably I'm walking a lot. He didn't want to pick up himself, but when he saw that I'm leaving, so he came again. And this one should be the place which is called the Blue Mosque. Is it? Yeah, it looks like it is. It should be here in the map, and it's definitely something architecture, and it's quite bluish as well, so must be it. Let's see what's inside. Quite nice courtyard. Tables and chairs inside. Could that be some madras? Some Islamic school? And you see inside, it's closed. I don't know if you see inside. I'll try to make a shade with my palm. There's Armenian and Iranian flag. So obviously they are from Iran, which means that they probably are not Sunni Islam but Shiite school. Well, but as you can imagine, these are only my guesses. Interesting rooms, like a monastery. The courtyard. But this doesn't look very new. And the man whom I met in one of the parks, he told me that they have a lot of history with Iran, because Persians, how do you say in English? They were, there is some small classroom inside. They were conquering Armenia, and 1st century before Christ, Armenia, he said, was huge. Today's Azerbaijan, most of Turkey, he said it was all Armenia then, if I can believe him. And the cat is saying meow. That's interesting as well. Quite beautiful. Well, it's definitely not very new. And what's there? There's some minaret. Quite beautifully made. I don't know if you can see against the sun. There's actually a toilet. Excuse me for a moment, I might be happy to use it. Now, where did we leave? At the minaret. Let's see what else was there. It's quite beautiful. What do you think? Aha. This one says... it's in English as well. Men's entrance. Entry is free for women with hijab. And interesting. The photo is okay. Every church says the photo is not okay. And here you see, photo is okay. Well, how can you not go in if you see such a sign? But before we go in, let's see here. Interesting. And it is quite strange actually, because I see some flowers and was it grape wine and whatever else. I understood that Muslims are not really allowed to depict any creation, to be safe, that they don't risk with making idols, that their art is only letters, Arabic letters, like there from Quran or something like that, but not a creation like flowers. But here you can see creation as well. So maybe they're not that strict, or that thing which I heard maybe is not true. And from my experience in Tbilisi, I understand that I need to take off the shoes. pretty much the only thing which you can hear is this clock. And I guess, well, that's again my guess, that it is used to tell when is it time for salat or their prayers. How many prayers do they have? 5 or 6 during each day? You see, I don't even know that. That's something in Arabic script, but it could be Persian as well, because I think Persian use Arabic script as well. And what are these? Anybody know? I don't. And that must be the Quran, is it? I think so. It's definitely Arabic, and it's quite beautifully made. So this is upside down, isn't it? This is how it should be. You see? Even I recognize. I don't know that much Arabic, but I know something. And that's something with English translation and some comments even. And that's something in Arabic as well. You see, the beginning of book is here and the end is here, because you write and read from right to left, not from left to right in Arabic. But that's pretty much all I know about these things. And this is their courtyard. They even have a fountain here in the middle of the courtyard for the mosque. That's a good sight from here. The minaret over there. And what is there? Permanent exhibition of Iranian handcraft. So it really was Iranian thing or Persian thing. That doesn't look very Iranian. Beautiful. Very delicate. Very small, delicate drawings. What do you think, people? Would you like to eat and drink from such things? Well, one day when I get to Iran, I might see more of these kind of stuff. But at this moment, it doesn't seem to be so soon. Funny, Iran is actually very close to here, and Armenia borders with Iran. And I was actually exploring the possibilities, because you see, flights back to Ireland from Armenia, well, to anywhere from Armenia, are expensive, quite expensive. Not terribly, but quite expensive. Then I thought going to going to Georgia, and to fly from there, it's cheaper. But then that's the train, which I just took, 26 euros or something, and I need a COVID test for that as well to get into Georgia. Georgians ask COVID tests even for the vaccinated people. Then I thought I could go via Turkey, because Turkey has border with Armenia as well, and Turkey has cheap trains and buses. I could easily get to Ankara, for example, in a couple days' time, maybe a bit more, or even Istanbul, and fly from there. Or even I could go further to Sofia in Bulgaria and fly from there. But the problem is that Armenia's border to both Turkey and Azerbaijan, the both sister countries, are permanently closed and probably will never be open in foreseeable future. They don't have the best of the relationships possible. So then how to get to Turkey? I was thinking I could go through Georgia to get into Turkey, but that's again the same story. I need this test, which again is not very cheap, I suppose. Then I was looking, maybe I could go through Iran, but then I read Iran tells straightforward that they don't give any advantages to vaccinated people. So there's a test and quarantine and who knows what else. Come on. And that's not counting the visa. So it looks like it won't happen this time. So Iranians, you'll have to wait for me for a while. And even now I'm going out from the mosque and back into regular Armenia, which is not very Iranian and Muslim looking at all. You have probably heard about iPhone, iMac, iOS, but here is iDram. Dram is Armenian money. Like Americans have dollars, they have drams. And they have some iDram. Probably some payment system or something. This is a place for those who like the old Soviet comedies. Caucasus Plenitsa, that's the name of the film. Hostages of Caucasus, or hostage women of Caucasus. And that's the three guys, main characters of that film. That is actor whose name is Nikulin. That is Vitsin, and I don't remember the name of the one in the middle. And here you can see them in real photo from that film. So, if you want, you probably can find it in YouTube in English with English subtitles and watch it. I am now back in that central place which Google didn't want to tell me what it is, but Yandex told me. It is Republic Square. That probably is the very center of Yerevan, as far as I can understand from all these things. And it's getting really warm, almost hot. Nice. And not only you can see all kind of touristy stuffs, you can see old Pobeda, which is made into a cabriolet, a convertible. I've never seen Pobeda convertible. By the way, there was time in my life when I had Pobeda too. That was crazy. I never got to restore it finally. And look at this. In a sunny, nice day like this, what could be better? You know, I think I have been walking for a while. Why shouldn't I just have a seat and enjoy the sunshine for a moment? Life is good. After having a good nap here, I looked on my Yandex Maps again, and I found out a few more things which Google didn't want to tell me. Google, you have to work on your maps if you want me to keep using your product. So that's Philharmonic Hall. That's History Museum of Armenia. This is called Singing Fountain. I don't know why it is called singing, and in Georgia they were called dancing. They're just fountains. That one is Ministry of Finance, and that one is the government building. And all of that you couldn't find in Google Maps. It was nothing there. But Yandex told me it. And I still have no internet. And it works. So if you travel in this part of the world, I definitely suggest you downloading Yandex Maps alongside Google, which often doesn't want to tell things. And one more thing which Google didn't tell me but Yandex did is the fact that there is such a building just around the corner. And here I got map of Armenia and map of Yerevan. So that's even better. And I don't know, maybe if I would have internet, maybe then I'd be able to zoom in enough so that my Google map would show more information. But at this stage, the one which I was able to download online, Google Map doesn't show it, but Yandex did. And now I have some maps with some touristic things as well, which is very nice. You won't believe what just happened. You won't believe. That was crazy. I was just walking here, I just got my maps, and one local man comes to me and he asks which country I'm from. He was asking in English, but he talks also Russian. Obviously he saw that I'm not local, and he asks which country I'm from. I'm saying Latvia. Well, that's what they usually say. I'm from Latvia, but I live in Ireland. And I'm just saying Latvia, and I didn't say I live in Ireland yet, and he already starts to speak in Latvian with me. And from the face, he's a proper Armenian, he's not Latvian. And he starts to speak Latvian. Well, not very good Latvian, but Latvian. And then he starts to sing a Latvian folk song, Kur tu teici gailīte man. And then he tells that in 1981 he was learning in Latvian Agricultural University in Jelgava. And that's why he knows Latvia and he knows a little bit of Latvian language. And as that wouldn't be crazy already, his name is Artur, and my name is Artis. And I don't know if you know it, but Latvians celebrate not only birthdays, but also name days. like all artists have name day celebration at the same date each year. And the funny thing is, artists and Arturs, which is kind of two little bit distinct forms of the same name, they both celebrate name day in the same date. So we turned out to be quite a lot in common. Although he is a proper Armenian, no other connection with Latvia besides his studies. But that was funny, that was interesting. It was so cool to meet such a guy. And he was a very nice guy. He makes tours here. But unfortunately I had to tell him that my budget will not be enough for making tours, for having a tour. But I wish him all the best anyway. He was such a nice guy. He told me a little bit about Armenia, about the war in Nagorno-Karabakh, about the historical situation with Turkey, with Russia, why Armenia is so small and how big it was before, and all these things. So that was quite some funny experience to meet an Armenian in the center of Yerevan who speaks Latvian and sings Latvian folk song. Crazy. What a small world we are living in. This place is called Sakharov Square, and could it be that that's Sakharov himself? I even don't know who Sakharov was, but I think, if I'm not wrong, he was some kind of academician, some kind of scientist, but I don't know. Buchanka. And this is the Armenian Opera Theatre. So if you want to see Verdi in Armenian, that's the best place to go.
Հայաստանյան բեմ հոկտեմբերի 30-ին, 31-ին և նոյեմբերի 2-ին, ժամը 19:00-ին։
And here is some interesting place. I saw it on the map that there is an interesting cascade up there, and I understand that from there we should be enjoying some beautiful views of Yerevan and maybe Mount Ararat as well. Let's see. Didn't I see something similar in Andorra? It's interesting. You kind of expect that the things go only up from here, but there's a big and quite deep pit. I'm almost on the top, and I'm slightly amazed how big, massive, squarish and blockish thing is in Yerevan. But the view is good. And it looks like the place is still not finished completely yet. I wonder how long time ago was the construction abandoned? Not yesterday, definitely. So here we are on the very top of this whole cascade, and there is some interesting couple houses there, and yes, they are still standing. And what's here? There's also the unfinished stuff. I wonder what was there, what should be here when it's finished, if it's ever finished. But look at this view, dear friends. Look at this view. And you see, that is Mount Ararat. The pride and pain of all Armenians. Am I wrong to say it? As far as I hear from Armenians talking here with people, Ararat is the mountain which is extremely symbolic, important and very dear to heart of every Armenian. And before, when Armenia was big, it was inside of Armenia, that mountain. And it is also historically very important place, because even if you read the Bible, it says that Noah's Ark, after the big flood which covered the whole earth, after the Noah's Ark touched the ground when the flood was dissipating, it happened there, on top of Mount Ararat. And Armenia being the first Christian country, it's very important. And they are Christian country since, if I'm correct, 301, year 301. So it is on the between the 3rd and 4th centuries, on the turn of the centuries, so very long ago. And yes, Ararat has always been symbol of Armenia. Many things related to Armenia has Ararat as a symbol depicted on them. And today, Ararat, you know guys, it's Turkey. Between there and here is border, and that side is Turkey. And Armenians tell me often how much they have suffered through the centuries. That Bolsheviks, that Lenin gave the whole Western Armenia to Ataturk, to Turkey basically, and now it's Turkey. And it didn't end with just losing the territory, it was also a terrible, terrible genocide which happened there, where Armenians were slaughtered just to vacate the land so that it can be inhabited by the new owners of it. And as far as I hear, that genocide was even crazier and deadlier than the genocide which Hitler did to Jews. So it was something really painful and terrible. And then, as if that wasn't enough, then Bolsheviks gave another part of Armenia, well, two parts even, Nakhichevan, which is southwestern part of what's today Armenia, not anymore, but southwestern side is bordering of Armenia is bordering territory, Nakhichevan, and also Karabakh or Artsakh. The communists gave to Azerbaijan, and at that time maybe it was a little bit easier to digest because it was all Soviet Union and it wasn't that big difference if it's part of Armenian Socialist Republic, Azerbaijan Socialist Republic, it's still Soviet Union. When Soviet Union collapsed, then the problem started, because Azerbaijan, the new owner of these lands, they said it's our land, we don't know anything about you. And then Armenians said, no, we have lived here for centuries, it's our land. It was a mistake when the Soviets divided the borders in a stupid way. And then the war broke out. And a year ago, the war broke out again. It was controlled by Armenians. Technically, the Artsakh is the separate breakaway republic, which is not recognized by anybody besides the other three ones. The Pridnestrovye, where I was a couple of weeks ago, and Abkhazia and South Ossetia, which both broke away from Georgia. So nobody else is recognizing Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh, but it is very intertwined with Armenia, and it was Armenian speaking and Armenian money used there. And now, a year ago, another war broke out, and yeah, I don't know, and who knows what happened, but what people are telling here, that probably bigger guys were dividing some things. Russians had their interests, and Azerbaijanis, together with Turkish, the brothers, they both have their interests, and basically they took something like 70% of Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh, and now it's under control of Azerbaijan. And this is the painful stories which live and still circulate into blood of Armenians. Well, again, I haven't checked any of these facts. Please check it if you want to be sure it's historically accurate. And even then, of course, wherever is conflict, you will never get information which is historically accurate, because each side see it differently and contrary to each other. But yeah, this is what I hear from Armenians, and actually, in my mind, I would say it's even irrelevant if it was historically accurate, which I just told you or not. But if you live with such feelings in your heart, it makes your world to look in a certain way. That is probably my biggest learning thing, which I have learned during this time, very short time yet in Armenia, that it is very important how to see things. And of course people are different everywhere, and here as well, but I see that so many people are having this, and I don't blame them at all. If I were one of them, I probably would see the same. I don't say I'm smarter or anything, but as an observation which might be useful for all the rest of us, I have observed that if you see the world with these eyes of being a victim always, being always victimized by the bigger guys, the bigger countries, the bigger players on geopolitical field, then your world suddenly gains such colors which make you in your world again and again repeating the same tragedies, problems and difficulties, like earthquakes and economical disasters and corrupted governments and political being a victim of bigger political players and so on and so forth. And again, I'm not judging, I'm not telling I would be better in this place, but that is something which strikes me here very often. I have observed these things in life in general a lot, but it strikes me very strongly here in Armenia, where it is so prevalent, this feeling of being victims, being mistreated by the bigger ones, being squeezed between the bigger superpowers. And with that kind of worldview, you can't really build anything. You can't really make anything. You can only continue being victim. And yeah, I have been there a lot myself. I know how it feels, I know how it recreates all these tragedies again and again and again. When in the most in the biggest opportunities and possibilities, you still always get the worst result and all kinds of unexpected tragedies happening to you, because that's what you see, that's what you breathe. Yeah, and being here and hearing all these stories and attitudes, I see that it is very prevalent here. No judgment. Exactly the opposite. I feel so sorry about these dear people, this dear people who lives here. I wonder, would there be any way how to help people like this, or just humans like these who live here, to get out of this thing? To get into a world where there are opportunities, possibilities. Yes, of course, also mishaps and errors and problems, difficulties, that's all good. But where you have opportunities and where you can build and where your tomorrow can look better than your today and even better than your yesterday. So friends, these are my thoughts and feelings at the moment. Couple days inside Armenia. I still have very much to see and hear, but these are my kind of first impressions. But in general, it's a wonderful place, a wonderful country, wonderful people. Although very often they themselves don't say that the place is wonderful, unfortunately. Be blessed, dear Armenians. Have all the best in your lives. I'm having a seat here on the top of this cascade again. Well, it was the place where I was, so I came here and I look again and Google Maps, and of course Google Map doesn't say anything about what is this thing. And I looked in my Yandex map, and you know what I found? This thing is called the monument of the 50th anniversary of October Revolution. Of all things, October Revolution. Plus 50th anniversary. When was that? How long was that ago when this thing wasn't finished? I don't understand something here. This is the Park of Victory, and of course when you see a Soviet type architecture and name which says Victory, you know immediately that it is about Soviet Union victory in the Second World War. And actually I'm looking for the second time on the same thing, and I'm thinking, I don't know what the artist was meaning by it, but am I the only person who sees it? This is a monument for victory, the Second World War. And Armenians lost also very many people during Stalin's repressions, the same way as many other countries, including mine. They lost a lot of people after the war was finished from the Stalin's regime. And you see this monument, it looks like a big pit of who knows what's in there, and some arms coming out of the pit. Some arms are helpless, asking for help, reaching out, help us, get us out of here. Some are angry and threatening to revenge, and they all have in common that they all are sucked in the same bottomless pit of Stalin's regime and communism. Well, I definitely know that this was not what was meant. This was not what was meant when the Soviet designer was designing this place. But I think that was what it turned out to be. Or am I just the only one person who is seeing it? Help us from this, let us out from this Stalin's bottomless pit of torture. And this building is something which even Google Maps know what it is. So it must be something very important. And it is called Aragil Restaurant. Abandoned as far as I know. Let's see. I have a good feeling that it will be a very nice view from here. Wow. And you see, such a thing is abandoned. Can I buy this place for 55 euros and make my home here and live here? I wouldn't be too opposed to that idea. Not a very bad view. Yerevan, Ararat. What else could you ask for? Well, maybe to trim this tree a little bit. To prune it properly. Oh, there is even written. Yeah, that's the same thing which the Google Maps said. Well, let's celebrate this. Even Google Maps knew what this place is. it's not too often when it happens, as we see. Interesting. There was probably the kitchen, and probably all around there were tables and people were eating. Oh, and there outside as well, you see. Probably under each of those there was a table and people were eating and looking on Mount Ararat over the beautiful city of Yerevan. What could be better than that? And really, such a place is not used by anyone. It can't be that nobody wants this place. No, I can understand for a restaurant it wouldn't be too much footfall here, so the business wouldn't be going here. That's why they're closed, obviously. But I'm definitely saying I would build my house here if I could get my hands on this place. Okay. Some music on the car. Isn't that beautiful, friends? And by the way, I met one man and I was asking about that monument, and he said that monument, which was unfinished, the October Revolution one, and he said yes, it was built during the last Soviet years, and when the Soviet Union collapsed, the building process stopped. So it really was 30 years ago since it stopped and unfinished. And the funny thing is, there was another building, I don't know if you noticed it, when I was showing you that big spire of the monument, on the left side, as I was showing to you, there was another building, and that building is newer building, that is memorial for the Stalin's victims. So obviously not during communist times could build such a thing. And it's funny, actually you can see the monument very top of it from here. It's not very far. I haven't got very far from there yet. and yes, they made it exactly side by side. So there's monument for October Revolution. There's monument for all the victims who followed that revolution. What an irony. I wonder when we people, when we will start to make monuments not for the victories over other people as if they were better or worse than us. When we will not be building monuments to some revolutions or other bloodsheds, but when we will be starting to commemorate, remember and put on a pedestal, so to speak, our victories over ourselves, our own problems, shortcomings, and the worldview which causes our world to be so bad, so depressing, so negative, and so unlucky. When we get a victory over our own worldviews, that's the moment which is the real victory. When we are not killing somebody else, some other human being or even people, when we're not oppressing somebody with our ideology, but when we are suddenly becoming freer, becoming happier, and becoming a reason for the whole world to be a slight tiny bit better place because of us living in this world and bringing into this world something positive instead of negative and destructive. I don't know, guys. Is this Mount Ararat? Which makes me to think about all these things. When I'm walking in the market or looking at the barking dogs in a train station, I don't have such things and philosophies in my mind. Here I have. Well, what can I say, friends? Come to Yerevan, look at Mount Ararat. Maybe you'll have some big revelations in your life too. And that monument there is called Mother Armenia. I wanted to say that not only Georgia has mother but Armenia too, but at least Armenian mother doesn't have sword in her hands, so bonus points to you Armenians. But no, she has a sword, and even bigger one than the mother Georgia had. What do you have here with these swords, dear Caucasians? Why is mother having such a big sword? Is this kind of a cruel childcare method, which I don't know anything about, or what? So this is what I was talking about. That is the monument for October Revolution, and there is the memorial for the victims of what happened afterwards during Stalin's time. And of course this place wouldn't be any tourist object if it would be without a stray dog. Hi doggy! That's the Stalin's Victims Memorial. What do you think, friends? Should I show you the Ararat, the holy mountain, in a little bit different lighting? The sun is already there while I was exploring that place where the Mother Armenia is, and the whole Victory Park or Memorial, War Memorial. Now it's a little bit different lighting. It is quite amazing to have city in the valley between these mountains and to have such a beautiful mount on your view every day. Or maybe is it only me who feels like that? Is it because I was growing up in the lowlands? The highest mountain, as we call mountain in Latvia, is just above 300 meters above sea level. Maybe that's why I'm so impressed by these guys. Nevertheless, I do like them, even if you don't. I know many of you will too. I have to go the same route back because all the other routes would be very long. And here it just dawned to me that this probably should be called a monument to the collapse of Soviet Union. This is when it all stopped and is standing in the same situation for 30 years. Really, 30 years already. Crazy. Yep. Monument for the collapse of Soviet Union. Well, that's only me who called it like this. And this is how the bright Soviet star, the bright future of communism looks like today. And this is something French. Maison Charles Aznavour. Don't know how to pronounce that one. Maison would be house. So some Charles house. Have no clue who was he or who is he. But probably something French related. And speaking about languages, today I'm walking almost exclusively on very touristy places. So touristy that I would reckon that I have seen more tourists than Armenians here. And you know what's interesting? I have yet to hear somebody talking in English. Seriously. Can you believe it? Have you ever seen such a thing? I met one small minivan-sized group of Germans and countless Russian tourists who were obviously tourists, very visibly. But no Americans, no other people who speak English. Where are you, all tourists? Come, visit this place. Isn't that one of the most interesting of all things to visit, places which usually are not so visited? Of course, Armenia is not a very touristy place, but that's what makes it so interesting, I think. Well, maybe only I think so. And maybe some of you crazy friends, since you're watching my videos. All the rest doesn't watch it. These should be some Soviet ideals of athletic, religion-free, communistic, Komsomol people who are building the bright future where water is pouring and the fullness of everything is there. Well, we are descending. I should be descending from my thoughts to something more realistic, typical, more everyday like the life down there in the city. I should slowly descend in my thoughts there as well. Otherwise I will be like that person in that story about caravan of camels, that they were traveling and they suddenly realized that one of the team is lost, he's not there. And they checked all the caravan and the man is not there, and they were returning on the same path, wondering where did they lost him, and soon enough they found him sitting on the same oasis where they were having a night sleep last time, and they were asking him, why are you sitting here? Why didn't you come with us? Well, you see, it's quite symbolic as well. The water was flowing there, but it's not flowing anymore. Sorry, all the Soviet people. The water is not flowing anymore. And that person who was sitting in this oasis, he said that he couldn't continue the way because they were traveling so fast with these camels that his soul can't really catch up that fast. It's still in the previous places. So he decided to sit here in this oasis and wait until his soul catches up with him, and only then to continue his journey. So, friends, if I am flying too high in my thoughts from being up there on those mountains behind there and looking at Mount Ararat, and I'm already descending down in the everyday life city, I want my soul to be with me. So let's stop all the philosophy and descend down to real life problems. Now I'm almost down at the real people level. Let's not fall into that pit, and let's deal with more worldly problems. I want to eat. Let's find some place where we can buy some good meal for some 70 cents or what, something similar. Well, here is something in English. Some center for the arts. Although I don't hear anybody speaking English yet. Maybe I will find somebody. But at least there are some signs in English. So, English-speaking people, come! It's all made and ready for you. And I could add from myself that it's definitely a good experience and a good place. I really enjoy it this far. We'll see. Maybe I will talk different after a few more days spending in Armenia, but I don't think so. We'll see. This is one lovely place. I'm telling you, friends. You know, guys, I saw something amazing. You won't believe. That man with that rucksack, he is English-speaking person. They were talking English with the local guide. So, as soon as I told you that I haven't met any in 2 days, I met one. Just a small correction of my... Well, I couldn't call it an error. It wasn't error, it was just truth. But so that you don't think that there is nobody speaking in English. There was one person. I was in a shop a moment ago and I suddenly noticed one thing. In the shop they wear COVID masks. And then I remembered. I was told yesterday by one local person, Armenian, that from today, exactly today, there is, and yeah, just in case if it's of any relevance, today is year 2021. It's definitely October, but I'm not sure which date. Something around 20th maybe, plus or minus 10 days. Excuse me for that. That's not very relevant information most of the time, so I don't keep it in my head. So, exactly from today, here's something good. Exactly from today, they have a law that they have to start wearing masks in shops and public transport. And this is something a little bit amazing. And everybody who lives in more kind of Western world will be wondering now, only now they start using masks? Yes, guys, only now. They didn't have to before. They didn't have such laws. They had freedom to choose. And there were people who were using masks even on the streets, and that's fine. If you want, do it. But if you don't, Nobody forces you. And this is a theme, a topic, which is probably more sensitive in this day and age than a topic about Hitler and genocide and that kind of stuff. I have such a feeling. And since I don't want to be banned or punished or persecuted or whatever, I will not tell many things about COVID and all the related restrictions and laws and everything. I just have no need into unnecessary suffering by talking something which somebody didn't like. But I will tell you one thing which will be quite generic and I think shouldn't serve as a reason for any punishments or bans or whatever in relation to me. And that thing is, during these COVID times, I think it is a very good moment to observe different countries and different governments, to see what these governments think about themselves and how much do they think they have rights to intrude into people's lives and freedoms and to take away these freedoms. And I won't be calling any names, any countries. You can Google these things. You can find out all these restrictions on the internet. So I won't be calling any countries by name, and I won't be saying or stating that there is something right or wrong, but I will be just telling you one thing. Look at the differences, how countries are imposing all the restrictions, lockdowns, bans, and those kind of stuff. It is not the same everywhere. No, it is not. It is very different. And even when you hear that there is lockdown in some country, what can be understood by that one word, lockdown, can be something vastly different. Just compare exact rules in different countries. So, it's a good indication, I think, where we can see what else can we expect of the respective governments. And if you think that there is something black and white, right and wrong in all these bans and restrictions, think again. Look on the statistics. There are countries which have very strict bans on everything. They basically made the whole country into literally a prison, unfortunately. And there are countries which still has almost nothing in relation to any kind of restrictions and bans and mask mandates and all the other stuff. And these countries have all the tourists now. And I'm not even talking about this country now. Just find out these things. I won't be calling any names. And look at those countries and the statistics. Do they have many more COVID cases? Look at these statistics and make some conclusions. I won't be telling anything. Just have a look. It will be an eye-opening thing. But I'm not saying anything exact because I have no urge to martyrdom because of some stupid COVID stuff. All the best, dear people, and I mean all the best for both types of people. Both them who think that freedom and possibility to earn a living is more important, and both them who think that we must make a country into a prison because we might save somebody like that. Be blessed, all of you. I don't judge anybody. Just have your own head. Observe and think. That's all I'm asking. My map says that this is Zoravur Surp Astvacatsin Church. If I'm pronouncing it correct. Might be not correct. But at least I was trying to tell you what it is. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of the city block. But it looks to be quite interesting. Shall we go in? This is something funny. I thought I might show you. Theo Pharma Pharmacy. Theo Pharma. Do they pretend that this pharmacy is made by God? Or what? Some godly pharmacy there. This is my hostel in Yerevan, which cost me €3.19 per night, and we have a beautiful balcony which is in the very center of Yerevan, so I can show you around a little bit. A nice place. And you know what? I wanted to show you something why I started to film this thing. You see what is here? Do you know what it is? It's a wool from sheep, a natural wool, and it is drying here, and these guys are using it for pillows. So it might look something like too natural for some of you, but I think this stuff is a lot better than the thing which you typically buy in IKEA, which every hostel in Europe uses. So, recommended again. Come to Armenia, Yerevan. Okay people, dear friends, all the best to you, and see you some other day in some other town.